Hey guys, what's up? In this video, I want to share a little trick with you which I figured out through my decades of struggling with social anxiety, and it helped me to become way more confident, way more outgoing. It improved my conversations and my communication skills across the board, whether I was just talking to people, making small talk, whether I wanted to flirt with people romantically or sexually, whether I wanted to speak in interviews or even to perform doing public speaking. It helped me with all of that, and it's really, really simple and easy. And I want to jump into that with you in this video today. But before we get going, I'd be really grateful if you could do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button, because I'm really concerned about the current state of the world and the way that social media is dividing us and making us more depressed and more anxious. And I see it so often with many of the young guys that I mentor and that I coach. They are losing hope, they are becoming isolated, they're getting very socially anxious, and it's often linked to the modern lifestyle we're living with lots of screens and lots of social media. So if you also believe that we're heading in a bad direction, that we all need to come together and have more face-to-face community and have more social connection, please smash that subscribe button, because I want to get this message out there and I want to help as many people as I can who are going through the same struggle that I went through with this crippling social anxiety. Just to give you a bit of background information, I struggled with social anxiety for decades, and it got really, really bad. It got to the point where I couldn't speak to people, I was self-isolating, I got very depressed, I even got suicidal. So I really went to rock bottom with social anxiety, so I know how bad it can be. And I just could not talk to people, but by using this method, I was able to completely open up and just improve my conversation and just become more optimistic and happy and outgoing. I call this little practice that I made up the spread love method, okay? Because basically you're gonna go about in your day and try and spread a little bit of love, a little bit of joy, and a little bit of play with other people, spread that to other people as you go about your day. And you start off very, very small. For example, if you're going into a grocery store, a supermarket, or a gas station, when you get your stuff, instead of just walking off without saying anything else, you can add one little bit each time that you try this. So you get your groceries or your gas or whatever, and then you can just say, have a nice day. And you're just trying to be playful and joyful and cheer that other person up and bring some color and some brightness to their day. And I know this is really scary at first. For me, it was very, very scary. I wouldn't even use the cashier, the in-person checkout clerks in the supermarket for a long time. I would always use the self-checkout, but that was just avoidance and that was making me worse. So please don't do that. If you're going to buy groceries, make sure you go and seek out the person so you can have face-to-face interaction. And I recommend this as a habit to build into your day everywhere you go. It's too easy now to rely on screens, which is why we're becoming more and more socially anxious. We're not as used to interacting with each other face to face, and it's creating this very strange society that we're living in now, where people are scared of each other, there's a lot of mistrust, there's a lot of anxiety, and people just don't talk. So to overcome social anxiety, to get more socially free and be a better communicator, you've got to take the path of most resistance, which is to go and seek out that encounter with a real person. So you go in, you do that, you get your stuff, and then you just add one little chunk of playful happiness and playful interaction with them. And I recommend starting off with just like, how's your day? Something like that, okay? So the next time you do this, you can start escalating. You can add a little bit more. And I would often be stood there getting my stuff at the checkout, and then I would say, how's it going? And they would be like, what? They seem really surprised because they never get asked this question. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm okay, thanks. And then I'd be like, okay, that's great, thanks. And then I would get my stuff and I would say, have a good day, and I would leave. So I'm adding in a little bit of playful, joyful, kind of trying to spread this good sentiment, spread goodwill, spread a bit of love through the world, just with these little chunks each time, okay? And as I said, I know this is really tough, but it's all about micro steps and, you know, baby stepping your way up the ladder to getting more socially free and more socially fluent. And what you'll find is that once you do this, even just saying, how are you doing? Or have a good day, you might get outside the supermarket and your heart might be pounding and you might feel this huge rush of euphoria and exhilaration, because it's a really scary thing to do if you're not used to doing it. And as I said, the current status quo in society is to not do this stuff. It's to not be social, not speak to each other, not look at each other, just look at your phone, stuff your ears full of, you know, AirPods. This is not healthy. This is why everybody's getting social anxiety, especially Gen Zers who might be watching this. it's reaching epidemic proportions. Gen Z are now facing the risk of a serious mental health crisis. So we got to stop this. We got to go back to old ways where people used to talk to each other, have a bit of small talk. It's no big deal. But the more you avoid it, the scarier and weirder it seems. So the next time you do this, you can add something else. And what I recommend is even just being playful or showing compassion about the other person. So what I would do is when I was in the supermarket, I would say something which showed the person that I recognized how hard they were working. And I would say like, wow, you guys must do long shifts here. You seem to be working so hard. And they'd be like, yeah, I've done 80 hours this week. You know, I'd often have these conversations with people in my local supermarket. And there was one guy there who was an African dude, and he was like super outgoing, and I built up a real nice rapport with him by just building these little things in. And he was like super friendly, and I would get that real rush of oxytocin and dopamine every time I went in there and had a chat with him. And that was coming from a place where I used to have to pay a psychiatrist to even take me to that exact same supermarket a couple of years before and do exposure therapy there. So this really, really works. Trust me, I've been from a place of having to even pay a psychiatrist to just walk me around town and take me to a supermarket, to then going into the supermarket and actually enjoying my interactions with people. And what happens is the more you practice this, the more it just becomes an organic, free-flowing thing. You're not even thinking about adding one little thing in each time, but you are just being playful and kind and compassionate and just spreading some love. So, you know, you show interest in other people. You might be there and just be like, oh, the weather's so hot. You guys must be really suffering in here. And then the guy behind the counter is like, yeah, the aircon broke yesterday. We're absolutely boiling in here. And you're like, oh, fair play, man. That's really tough going. Anyway, mate, thank you very much. Have a good day and keep at it. We appreciate it and see you later. That kind of stuff. And it just starts flowing into like really enjoyable little encounters that you have. So first of all, you learn the form of like, oh, I'm going to add this thing, and you might feel a bit self-conscious. It might feel clunky and weird. But over time, as you practice, it just flows into natural, organic conversation. And it's all with this guiding principle that you're trying to just spread love to other people, make their day better, and just brighten things up. And this also works like on the phone with customer service or whoever it is, because people in those service jobs are working hard. They have a tough time and they don't really need, you know, miserable customers. It helps everything just flow along and everything flow much more smoothly if you're just a bit kinder to them, add a bit of value to their day. They appreciate it, everybody wins, and you become more socially confident. So it's just brilliant across the board. So please try this little habit out. Start spreading some love, some playful, joyful interactions with people, and let me know how you get on in the comments below. And please do me that favor and subscribe to the channel, because we're trying to grow this channel, get the message out there, and try and start repairing our society, which seems to be breaking down, where everybody is so scared of each other and so anxious. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.